Good afternoon. Welcome back to Dan's Trades. Today is Monday, July 28th, 2025. And as always, do your own research. I'm going to take a look at a few trades I took this morning. It's a rare Monday that I take a trade right at the opening or shortly after the opening. I got some buy side liquidity marked up here. That was pre-market. 9 o'clock high here. Then overnight. So we were taking some sell side liquidity here, looking at a 15-second chart. We had a run up, had a market structure shift as we broke this high right here. Right after that candle was done, I entered a trade, anticipating a run up to this buy side liquidity. We retraced a little bit, so I said thank you very much. I'll take a second bus. Entered 5 more contracts here, so filling in this inefficiency. I should have waited a little bit, but it is what it is. I entered shortly after that. That was my key. 10 contracts on micros, and I am doing I've got a new setup as I'm very confident in my trading now, reading price abilities. I've scaled into 3 accounts here, and I'm just looking to take some small scalps to build these up again, or build these new accounts up. I'm adding on to my abilities. So here we go. Sweep of liquidity, 9:30 open, makes another swing low, did not come down, respected it. That's when I added on right here, 479, so we got 5 contracts, 10 contracts total. Targeting low-hanging fruit, peeled off 2 contracts as we hit this high, and then looking for higher prices. Didn't have the conviction that I was wanting to see, so I just started peeling off more there as we made a higher high, 499. I'll zoom this in so I can actually see the price. And when it failed to go higher, I just started peeling them off, protecting profits. Peeled off 2 there, came back up, peeled off 2 more. And it went lower. I said, okay, 2 more, keep peeling them off, captured my profits. Final break even before, so everything closed in profits, except for maybe 1 contract for $1.50 or something loss. But that was a nice little early scalp. That's looking at it from the 15-second chart. So we didn't displace lower, still expecting higher prices. Re-entered 5 more contracts. Came down into this busy. Honored this order block. And once we came back up through here, we peeled off these when we did reach these liquidity points that I was originally targeting. So I didn't want to be participating in a longer retracement. That's why I took off my first trade here. Then I re-entered for the next leg of the price, and then we had this large bar down right before the macro, 948. So this is all trading inside of establishing the 30-minute opening range, only because it's a certain day of the week, NFP week. So I'm trading a little bit earlier before the 30-minute range is established. Shorter term scalps, enter, exit, re-enter, final exits for the morning session. Then we did come up at 9:51 right after the macro kicked in to take out that liquidity. What does ICT always say? When macro starts, it's going to run to liquidity. It ran right to it. Retraced a little bit, refilled this in, established some new highs here. Was just tape reading this. Saw some very large wicks forming. Relative equal lows here. We got 466.25, 466. So it's off by a tick. And this is higher than that. So this is a engineering of liquidity. This wick did not form on the mini, so NQ does not have this wick. I found that very interesting as well. So I continue to watch that, tape read it, just monitoring, see what price is doing. was waiting for a sweep of liquidity of one side or the other. Finally received it here, coming up to the next point in time. AM session's now over. I found it interesting that we swept back down, took out that liquidity, engaged sell side again. Then I took another very short-term scalp. I said, okay, we have another inversion fair value gap here. SIBI's being turned into BISI's basically. Once it closed above this one, I re-entered a position, added 5 here, added 5 here, looking to target these, just this short-term range here, because I have some profit goals I want to make on my accounts. And as soon as it came up and reached them, I took off my trade. A few more minutes went by, maybe a minute went by. I said, okay, if you're not going to run before 11:30, I'm just going to take it off. So 11:30 and 45 seconds, I closed the trade out. So that's enough profits for today. I'm calling it, wrapping up the shop. And it did continue higher after a consolidation period, and it did run up to where I like to target bodies. And then since then, it's kind of just meandered right around that 23,500 price level. And as we see, price right now is 467. Let's see what it's doing. I haven't been actively watching, so we're coming into, it is 12:30 exactly now, 1:30 New York time. So we're going to establish the new, we just established the PM range, so we have, let's see. Let me pull up my, I'm going to pause it for a second and open up Trading View, since I don't have it open on this computer. Stand by. Alright, Trading View is taking literally forever to open up, so I just got the 30-minute indicator on here. So we're establishing now the PM. We just had the first presentation, fair value gap in the PM. There's the lunch macro. There's the overlay. So there's the few minutes that I was on pause for a second. We see here's my new setup. I've added onto my accounts. So we have the leader account with 2 tied to it. We see nice liquidity here. First presentation, and this is a very interesting week, so be cautious in your trading. We have FOMC week and NFP week in the same week, so there's going to be all kinds of volatility injected into the market, so be careful. So there's a reason why we see all this back and forth. That was this morning's trade from the look with the view. There's the 30-minute opening, there's the first entry, second entry, exits, re-entry, done. And then waited till here, there's the spike down, re-entered on the 15-second inversion fair value gaps forming. Before the lunch macro started, there's 11:30. So I didn't want to be around the lunch macro, but I saw this and I had high confidence and I took a trade. And I reached my profit goals and I said I'm done for the day. That's why we see no more trades. So very short-term scalping in these market conditions. Working for me. I'll take it. Very interesting wicks. So I'll show these wicks here. So this is 1026, 1021. Look at 1026 here on the NQ. The wick's not there. Very interesting. Let's see if it'll even draw over to MNQ. Oh, that's even more interesting now because it's there over here. Are these guys being super silly? Or not even silly, but 1026.30. Go to 15-second chart. There it is. Okay, I was just looking at the wrong chart. Sorry about that. 1026.30. Okay, they are there, so watch. There's those wicks. This is why I didn't trade anymore in that AM session, because I saw this happening. Switch back to the NQ. 1026.30. Not there. Interesting, right? Keep an eye out for interesting things. Once you see enough interesting things, you can build a model around it and make some decisions and have proper risk tolerance and capitalize on it. These are interesting, obviously. These are interesting. A lot of interesting liquidity here. But I am done for the day. That's enough for me. Anything that I wanted to talk about that I missed? I don't think so. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that. Happy with that. Monday on NFP week. Be careful. As always, remember, tomorrow is promised for none of us. Live for today. Take care.